Welcome to Pete's Corner, the show where you find out what's happening in Stillwater. My name's Cassie Gann. Whether it be your mom or your coworker, there's always someone in your life whose work may go unappreciated. This week, we are highlighting Stillwater residents who do so much but receive little recognition. Pete's Corner wants to give back to those people, so we have a few tricks up our sleeve. Stay tuned to see how we made an OSU employee speechless. But before we do that, we're headed to Will Rogers to show our appreciation. Stay tuned for another great show. Welcome back to Pete's Corner, and guys, I am so excited because we are headed to Will Rogers right now, and it looks like we're almost there. We are here at Will Rogers Elementary School, a workplace full of men and women whose work may go unappreciated. Their desire for teaching far outweighs a high income, but regardless of pay, these teachers just want to leave a lasting impact on their students. Will Rogers is a Title I school, which means they receive government funding to help fund the school, but that may come with some challenges. But soon we're going to talk to Principal Megan Eliason to talk about how much she loves this school and how the faculty makes a lasting impact on their students. You guys are probably wondering what's in this box, but you're gonna have to stick around to find out. We are actually gonna go ahead and toss it to Corbin Bauer, who got a closer look at what a Title I school is and how it affects schools like Will Rogers. Also, we are going to see from a reporter how they surprised an OSU employee. Stick around, you don't wanna miss this.
For some teachers, Title I is a label, but for others, it is an opportunity to mold the generation of tomorrow. A Title I school, like Will Rogers Elementary, is a school that receives federal funding for its population of students on free or reduced lunches. These low-income students bring a greater educational challenge to teachers by nurturing to all of their needs so that they may succeed academically.
So, one of the challenges is finding ways to work with their family, with their community, to understand what they're bringing, and to help, I started to say bridge, but it's not a bridge, but to help make sure that we are nurturing those kids all the way around so that they can do what they need.
Retention rate is another challenge these schools face, as they are constantly seeking teachers to fill classrooms. However, students are getting taught by teachers that are dedicated and willing to go the extra mile to giving them the best education and moral support they may not get elsewhere.
Title I schools need to have really dedicated, effective teachers. If all of us go to the schools where it's the most easy to teach and we're not serving the kids that have the highest needs, then I feel like that would be a disservice.
Although teaching at a Title I school certainly isn't easy, teachers here at Will Rogers Elementary see their opportunity to change the generation of tomorrow, one lesson at a time.
Just seeing the growth they make throughout the year makes all of it worth it. Makes the extra hours worth it, makes the weekends worth it. It's just seeing that I am making a difference and that together we are helping them grow is what I care about most, and that's the most rewarding thing.
Despite not being wealthy at home, students at Title I schools can rest assured that they are in the hands of teachers that are willing to face the challenges in order to make a difference for themselves and their students. For Pete's Corner, I'm Corbin Bauer.
Thanks, Corbin. And along with that, Title I funding can affect the amount of resources available to our educators. This can create shortages across the nation. But I'm going to go speak with Principal Eliason to get a perspective on the effects of Title I. So, Dr. Eliason, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So I am actually from Missouri and moved to Oklahoma to be on the rodeo team, and I haven't gone home. I love Oklahoma. I love living here. Been an Oklahoma educator for 12 years. I really enjoy getting to know students and families and teachers and supporting them. And my new job here in Stillwater is being principal at Will Rogers, and I enjoy working at Will Rogers because I love serving the students and the families and the staff.
Awesome. Well, speaking of the staff, what are some challenges the staff may undergo on a day-to-day basis?
So when you're an educator, the first challenge you face is always making sure that you make a personal connection with students and that you develop a relationship that allows them to trust you and for you to trust them, and then work together to help each child reach their potential. In addition to just getting to know the child, you also have to figure out how do they learn best and how can you motivate them to want to learn the important academic content for their grade level as well as the life skills to be successful. And so educators really face those two challenges on a daily basis, getting to know students and understand them and then reach them with the academic content in a way that's meaningful.
Awesome. And are there ways that you show appreciation to staff? Are there certain days or months that go straight to them?
So I really believe in helping staff feel appreciated on an ongoing basis. Of course, every year we have our Teacher Appreciation Week, and our PTA does special things for our staff at Christmas time and then in the spring. I make an effort to show staff appreciation on their birthdays, and a little birthday treat goes a long way. I also try to do, I call them teacher goodies, and every couple of weeks I try to leave them a nice note with some kind of treat or special item on their desk. This week it was a little story about flying geese and how when geese fly in the V formation, that lift each other up. And so I was talking to them about how we can lift others up. And it had a little bag of veggie straws, V for veggie straws. So I try to do little things like that. And then on a daily basis, we keep a teacher snack bowl in the office, which just if you need a little pick-me-up or a little snack, you can stop by and get one of those on your way through the office. So just trying to do those things. And then also just really making a point to talk to staff and reach out to them when you notice that they've done something above and beyond for kids, recognizing that and just saying thank you and being more aware of when I can say thank you to staff in person and make them feel special and acknowledged. So I try. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for everything you do. Well, we are going to put the finishing touches on our special surprise for the staff, and then we're going to go to Bailey so she can tell us a little bit more about special education and paraprofessionals.
Elementary education is one of the first place kids start to learn and grow as people. But not all students learn the same, and some struggle more than others. That's why at schools like Rogers Elementary, there are paras and special education teachers specifically there to support the students who need it. These teachers work one-on-one with the kids throughout the day in their classes to support them and help them learn. Victor Gonzalez, who won Paraprofessional of the Year for the Stillwater School District last year, has been helping students at Will Rogers for almost 4 years, and he says that seeing students succeed in class is one of the most rewarding things.
I've had one tell me, I don't need you anymore. And it wasn't like a mean, I don't need you. It's like, I don't need you. I've got this under control. And that was a really good one.
Megan Walker became a SPED TA at Will Rogers in September and has loved working with students and helping them succeed in school.
Like one of my kids did something and I was like, oh my gosh, good job. And he's like, I'm a smart boy. And so things like that, like it's amazing.
Will Rogers Elementary, a Title I school, is lucky enough to have funding for these TAs, but there are still other resources and tools that need funding, and that money usually comes out of special education teacher Linda Gray's pocket.
Like there's not a lot of funding in SPED, I don't think, but she really goes out of her way to make sure that we have everything that we need.
Miss Gray has been working at Will Rogers Elementary for over 25 years and works hard to make sure her students have all the things they need to succeed, even if it means contributing her own money or staying after hours to help her students.
We do a lot of individual work to make children successful, so we stay late so that we can meet their individual needs and prepare.
The time and effort Miss Gray and her TAs put into their students is invaluable to the kids. Without them, many kids would struggle to find success, and their impact reaches beyond just the individual student.
So it's nice to know that we do impact not only the child and the family, but we impact our community and our nation just by the type of children that we're able to round and mold and help.
The special education teachers and support staff give up their time and money to make sure all the kids at Will Rogers have a chance to learn and grow together. And it's the actions from these people that truly change students' lives. For Pete's Corner, I'm Bailey Battelle.
Thanks, Bailey. The work that these paras do is both demanding and rewarding. Before we have our surprise, we're going to head back to OSU to speak to some students about food insecurity. And later, don't forget, we have an OSU employee that's very inspiring. Welcome back to Pete's Corner. We are in the Student Union with SGA President Caitlin Kirksey. One of their main platforms was to start a food pantry on campus. Oklahoma State is one of the only Big 12 schools that doesn't have a food pantry for students, and that is what Caitlin Kirksey and Kristen Ball focused on during their campaign. So can you tell me exactly how you guys started this food pantry?
Yeah, so we have seen research that was done by a graduate student a few years ago that showed that about 43% of our student body is food insecure. That means a variety of things in a variety of different ways, but ultimately 43% is the number that we stick with. And so as one of two Big 12 schools that doesn't have a food pantry available to students, we wanted to find a way to immediately meet the need of the students that need access to food and personal hygiene products.
And have you seen a really good turnout with the food pantry?
So as of right now, it is kind of hit or miss, but it's really exciting to see that students are beginning to know that it's available and that it's here in the Student Union. So every day we're getting DMs on social media, or Kristen and I are getting text messages and things like that. So we know that the word is slowly but surely getting around to students that need it.
And is there anything else that you want to add about the food pantry, like what we can see in the future with it?
Right now it's in Kristen's office. Our hope and our dream is to find a permanent space for it on campus to be accessible to students anytime. But for right now, you are able to come by anytime if you need food, if you need personal hygiene, anything, and any of the students in the Student Union office can get you a key and get you what you need.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank
I appreciate it. Well, we're going to go ahead and throw it to Jovian Osterhout, and he's going to talk to Kristen Ball a little bit more about the food pantry.
Oklahoma is one of the most food insecure states, and college students are not immune to the issue. Oklahoma State is the only college in the Big 12 without a university-sponsored food pantry on its campus, but that hasn't stopped a couple of students from helping those in need.
What really kind of brought everything home for me was the food drive we did in October. The Food Insecurity Committee put it on, and they would go in at the end of each day and count just how many were in there so they could keep everyone updated on the competition. But they noticed that food was disappearing overnight, and that was kind of like a real wake-up call. Like, we knew the statistics, we knew all of the numbers, but that was something real and tangible that we sat there like, okay, people are this hungry that they're going to go out in the open and take food out of this box.
Kristen was inspired to start her own food pantry in her office. Students can receive food with no questions asked. Because Kristen is a student, SGA Vice President, and Sustainability Intern, she does not have the means to operate a food pantry alone. The director of the SGA Food Insecurity Committee is committed to the long-term success of Kristen's food pantry.
It's something that we talked about, debated. Would it be useful? Would it not? Ultimately, I give full credit to Kristen for that, although there has been talk about long-term sustainability of the food pantry. She is a full-time student. She is very busy. And so one way my committee will help her if she sees a need is that we would have office hours in Kristen's office to keep it open so that she can do what she needs to do.
Kristen volunteered her time, office, and energy for those in need without ever being asked. And while Kristen's food pantry is a big step towards ending food insecurity on campus, she is still pushing for a campus-sponsored pantry with the ability to serve students even better. For Pete's Corner, I'm Jovian Osterhout.
Thanks, Jovian. Along with Kristen's efforts to take on this task, many other campus organizations have wanted to tackle fighting food insecurity as well, including the President's Leadership Council and the Freshman Representative Council. Right below us is actually the student union, where all the hustle and bustle of students grabbing a bite to eat or finding a spot to study happens. Most students don't pay attention to the workers who take out the trash or wipe off the tables. However, one student union employee has enjoyed the past 6 years making connections with students and showing his cowboy spirit. Our reporter Ali Bond got to hear this employee's story and surprise him with something he's always wanted. Let's go to Ali now to see his reaction.
The student union is one of the main hubs on campus. It houses the university store, study abroad office, bursar, VA office, and not to mention all its food options. While all these parts play a role in what makes up the union, you may not realize there are hidden gems here. In this case, one gem in particular.
I just like to get to know people. I guess you'd say I'm a people person, I guess, if that makes sense.
Kyle is an OSU dining employee who works at Red Earth. He has worked at OSU for 6 years, and to him, this was his childhood dream. So what makes him a hidden gem, or in this case, an unsung hero?
He's always just super sweet, makes small talk, and has a really happy smile, and that always makes me happy.
Kyle always goes out of his way to brighten someone's day and to make a new friend. Today we're flipping roles, and we're making his unsung name to loudly proclaimed. I have a group of students in here with a signed board, jersey, bedlam tickets, and some hideaway pizza. I'm about to go get him in the union. He's waiting for me, and he has no idea that this is going on. I'll be right back. So you said you parked at Hideaway and then walked over?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just walked.
Yeah.
It seems like... Yeah. Hey.
So Kyle,
Hey.
I know you told me some of your dreams were to go to a football game.
Uh-huh.
So we got you some Bedlam tickets.
Okay, thanks.
And then I know another dream was for you to have dinner with some students and to be appreciated. And so here's some students who love you, and they all signed this sign for you.
Okay, thanks.
And we're about to order some pizza and just hang out.
Okay.
So I told you it was just you and me having dinner, but actually, it's all
I know, that's okay.
Are you surprised?
Yeah.
Most of Kyle's dreams came true today, but most importantly, he made new friends. For Pete's Corner, I'm Ali Bond.
People like Kyle are what make the OSU family so special. Once again, Kyle, we want to thank you for everything that you do for OSU students. Pete's Corner is not done giving back, but we're going to head back to Will Rogers here pretty soon. But before we do that, we're going to hear from college students who have had teachers impact them.
My favorite teacher was my math teacher. Not only was she our prom coach, but she cared so much about her students inside and outside the classroom. She made sure that we all were just being nice citizens of Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
They really cared about their job and made the students a priority rather than kind of acting like they just were showing up every day to make money.
My AP government teacher in high school, she had a really positive impact on me. She inspired me to actually care about the government and pay attention to what was going on.
She taught me the importance of being kind to people, and that's something that I've carried with me
ever since that time.
Let's see, my favorite teacher was my AP English literature professor or guest teacher senior year of high school, and he was my favorite because he really brought literature to life for me, and I'm not someone who likes English, but he made it really enjoyable.
There you have it. Teachers have an impact on students that goes beyond the classroom. We're finally going to head to Will Rogers so we can surprise the faculty, so we can show them how much they mean to us. Stick around.
Because of Cass, I'm more confident behind the camera.
Because of Cass, I have found lifelong friends and amazing mentors.
Because of Cass, I will be able to teach English in Cambodia with the Peace Corps.
Because of Cass, I had the opportunity to intern on Capitol Hill.
Because of Cass, I got to sing at the Vatican.
Because of Cass, I was able to present my research and I won a scholarship for it.
Because of Cass, I miss Black OSU.
Because of Cass, I can help someone else find their voice.
Because of Cass, I'm able to not only have 1, but 2 internships for the summer lined up already.
Because of Cass, I am confident in leadership positions.
Because of Cass, I'm excited for my future and the opportunities I have within my major.
Because of Cass, I can do it, and so can you.
When everything is on the line, one person can change the game. One swing of the bat, one perfect pass, one leaping catch. In the most important moments, one play, one person can make the difference. This is your moment. Your opportunity to change the game for our student athletes. Will you sit on the sidelines? Or will you be a game changer? Join the posse today. Call 405-744-7301 or log on to okstateposse.com. Be a game changer.
I've had a lifetime of little sweet pieces of special. And I just want them to know I love them.
The Cancer Center at Stillwater Medical, the heart of cancer care.
Welcome back to Pete's Corner. The people that were mentioned in this episode, remember, they are people like me and you. And if you wish to see change in your city, it starts with you. And before we go to our surprise, we're going to throw it to Avery Fulton, who got to talk to some nurses about victims of sexual assault.
1 in 4 women and 1 in 16 men are sexually assaulted during college. But who are the people working behind the scenes with these victims? Stillwater Medical Center staffs 4 sexual assault nurse examiners, also known as SANE nurses, who have undergone specialized training in order to care for patients who have experienced sexual assault or abuse. For the 4 SANE nurses, this job is all about serving patients during one of the most traumatic experiences of their lives.
It's our job to help those victims of rape, of abuse, to realize it's not their fault. Most places don't provide SANE programs. We provide them free of charge for any victim who comes in.
While most careers have their good days and their bad days, the sexual assault nurse examiners are reminded of the worst parts of humanity every time they come into work.
I think, the hardest part of being a SANE nurse is probably, just seeing how badly people treat other people sometimes and how that affects another person so negatively.
There's always a need. We work holidays, we work weekends. There's no Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So a lot of family time gets sacrificed for the work, but they've learned. I'm a nurse.
Considering the emotional intensity, sacrifices, and extensive training required, the sexual assault nurse examiners at Stillwater Medical have dedicated themselves to a career few others would be willing to do. But they don't see it that way.
Probably a good 90% of our job is just treating other people like human beings and, getting down on their level.
And while they might not consider themselves to be heroes, the SANE nurses' empathy and kindness will forever impact the lives of their patients. For Pete's Corner, I'm Avery Fulton.
Thanks, Avery. We are in the teacher lounge right now because we are about to surprise the Will Rogers Elementary School teachers. We have cookies, we have goodie bags full of pencils, staples, paper clips, anything that they may need for their classroom, and we are so excited to see their reactions.
Yes, absolutely. I think there's a huge misconception about what teachers do. And I think that really also speaks to how well teachers do their job, because they do make it look easy. And before I got into the field, I thought that as well. I thought it was all about bulletin boards and laminating and cutting things out. And that's just very, very small portion of the job. And I have really felt within the last couple of years here in Oklahoma, I have felt a lot more appreciated, because the community of Stillwater, and I feel like the state as a whole, really rallied around the teachers when they had their walkout. And I had heard so much good feedback from people that were advocating for teachers and making sure that classroom funding went up, and that teachers were able to have a raise and be able to make a wage that they could live on. And so while there have been a lot of misconceptions, I've also felt a lot of support and advocacy from people that aren't even parents of children in the public school system. So I think that's really exciting. But yes, I do think that people think that anyone can teach, and it's not something that anyone can do. You have to really have a passion for children, you have to have a passion for education, and you have to have a passion for, attacking challenging issues, as far as working with behavior issues and, lack of funding sometimes, and lack of materials and things like that. We really learn how to make things work. And so teachers make it look easy, but it's not as easy as it looks. But like I said, I think that speaks to how well they do their job.
Thanks again for tuning in to this week's episode of Pete's Corner. We want to thank again to all of our unsung heroes, and don't forget to treat yourself.